Some introverts spend their entire life feeling understood to music because they never really learned how to express themselves out loud. I used to think that being introverted means being quiet, but I realized that getting older, it was more than that. But for me, it was feeling everything deeply, but struggling to translate it in real time. There are so many moments when I tried to express myself, what I felt internally, but the second I tried to explain it to someone, it came out incomplete. Like my brain was moving faster than my ability to express it. Sometimes I would stutter or I would not say it loud enough. They're like, huh? And that's why I think a lot of introverted people stay in their heads. You replay conversations later, you think of better responses hours afterwards. You feel the emotion intensely that it doesn't feel just like emotion, it feels like actual physical pain. But expressing those emotions publicly can feel uncomfortable. In this video, I want to talk about why introverts struggle being seen, how DJing became my outlet for expression, and how creating an identity through art can sometimes give people permission to becoming more of yourself. Because looking back now, I think music became a way of communicating in a way that I didn't even realize. When I started DJing, I wasn't trying to become someone huge or become an internet personality. I just loved creating music, an emotion in a way that I felt was right. I love creating these soundscapes, and I'll add these audio clips from movies that meant a lot to me, and I created this experience that I felt was my own. It felt like my own world, and I put a lot of emphasis on the atmosphere, the transitions, the feelings a certain way that songs can go chronologically with each other in a way that I thought was unique and
maybe we can.
Tasteful. Sometimes people connect to songs because it explains emotions that sometimes they can't explain themselves. There was a lot of part of DJing that changed me too. When I first started performing, I wore a mask. And at the time, I told myself it was an aesthetic or it was my brand, part of the performance. But looking back now, I think part of me genuinely struggled believing the normal version of myself could be more somewhat expressive, enough to stand confidently in front of people. I was too scared to show myself in front of people. I didn't have the confidence to do that without the mask. And the mask created a distance between me and my fear. It felt easier becoming fox-eyed because then fully exposing myself to just me. And the more I look into it, the more I realize humans have been doing this for thousands of years. The word persona actually is a Latin term that refers to traditional theatrical masks worn by performers. Even jesters played a strategic role historically. People saw them as entertainers, but most of them were trusted by the king because they could express uncomfortable truths through performances in a way that other people couldn't. Other people weren't willing to tell the truth because they were worried about the king taking it in a way and they would get killed for it. So the only people that were willing to say the truth or were allowed to was the jesters. And I think that's what people sometimes do with emotion now. Sometimes performances become a way to reveal part of yourself that is too comfortable to deal with directly. Sometimes people create an alter ego, stage names or characters, versions of themselves that feel strong enough to express emotionally through normal. Even Kobe had a persona as a Black Mamba, and after he created that persona, it changed his trajectory of his career through this shift in his identity. And I don't think those identities are fake. I think they become bridges, a way for people to slowly grow into part of themselves that they were afraid to access directly at first. Because over time, DJing suddenly changed me anyway. The more I DJed, the more I realized that confidence doesn't actually come from my mask identity itself. It was coming from repeatedly putting myself in rooms that I didn't belong, or being parts of groups I didn't belong, and surviving it. Little by little, I became more comfortable expressing myself publicly, more comfortable sharing my emotion, more comfortable being visible. And then eventually I realized something important. The version of myself that I thought needed hiding was a person that I needed to learn how to accept. And I think a lot of introverted people are waiting to feel confident before they start to express themselves publicly, because confidence usually comes from expression, not before it. So every time you create something, you perform, you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, you slowly expand your ability to be seen. That's how confidence is built, not through endlessly thinking about becoming more confidently, but solely through repeated moments of uncomfortable action. Creative people struggle with this all the time. But I'm starting to realize that growth becomes the moment you stop waiting and when you're not ready. I think that a lot of creatives carry stories and ideas and emotions inside them for years without truly expressing itself publicly. And we never know your true art, not because they lack creativity, but because they're so afraid of judgment, afraid of embarrassment, afraid of being misunderstood, afraid of being seen for the person that they truly are. But maybe by becoming the person that starts to allow yourself being seen imperfectly at first, putting yourself out there changes you slowly. I'm starting to realize that even with these videos, it's changing me as a person. You become more comfortable expressing yourself. And I think that's one of the reasons why creativity changes people. It forces you to meet parts of yourself that you kept hidden for so long. So if you're introverted and struggling being seen, maybe the goal isn't becoming a completely different person. It's showing the people who you really are. And if you're someone who's trying to be more confident, more expressive, more creative, or simply being more comfortable with being yourself publicly, subscribe and follow this journey. This channel isn't about pretending to be this guru and have life figured out. It's actually about documenting the journey together. It's about documenting what it's like to actually go through this journey and grow into yourself in real time, because I'm still figuring things out. So if you're an introvert, a creative, a late bloomer, or someone who's trying to become the person that they've always wanted to become, maybe you're in the right place by watching this video.